This is the third video for our October Azure Haul. And in today's video, we're going to be sharing with you how we used what we got from Azure and some other stuff.
So we are going to go through 2 days of meals starting tonight, which is just more prep for the upcoming 2 days. We're going to be sharing breakfast taquitos and pumpkin waffles for breakfast.
And regular waffles for those of you...
For those who don't like pumpkin. Yeah. We have some chicken ranch tacos and cheeseburger soup we're going to be doing for lunch. We have a apple cider pork chop along with a batch of enchiladas for our dinners. We also have some delicious desserts to share along with a few other recipes mixed in there as well.
Buckle up, 'cause this is going to be a fun ride.
Okay, so we just found out that our first frost is expected tomorrow, which I think is so fitting because we're not really sharing this meal, but I did want to say that we're having pulled pork and we're doing some cider rolls and some coleslaw and barbecue sauce, which is what I think is a perfect way to end out summer. I know it's fall already, but you know, it's summer. So also with this frost coming tomorrow, another thing that we did was sent Asher out into the garden and picked all of our green tomatoes. So I now have a last minute number of projects that we need to do in making some green tomato recipes in the next week or so.
Hold the phone. Christmas PJs.
And I have Christmas PJs on. Isn't it festive? Where was that all summer long? So good.
Cool.
I love that combo.
Live in the garage, here we are.
It's time to pull out everything for the next couple days that is frozen. So we're gonna start with the tortillas that we need for breakfast tomorrow. Now I'm putting these into what we call our meal baskets. I'm gonna also come over here and grab some ground pork. I'm sorry, not ground pork, breakfast sausage. That's not in the pork. That's not, this is a strip steak.
Because I had to put some in there.
All right, so we're gonna do 2 pounds of breakfast sausage. And then why don't we also throw, how many eggs? 2 dozen eggs? All right, so this is breakfast for tomorrow.
All right, change of plans. Those are sticking out.
So we've got our tortillas, breakfast sausage. We're gonna grab 10 pounds of ground beef. So this is a little bit more ground beef than what we would normally use. We are using 5 pounds of ground beef to make beef jerky.
Beef. So what's for dinner?
9, 10. It's always a good idea to make sure your freezer shuts. We're gonna grab 1 ground pork, which we have down here.
Yes.
From the first pig that was amazing. I'm just gonna throw this in here as well.
Boom shakalaka.
You said 6 pork chops?
That's what I think. Unless you want leftovers. Like, I'm looking at the amount of pork chops we got, and I'm just thinking that we could maybe have...
Okay, we're gonna do 6 pork chops. Are you sure these are for dinner?
If I have to take them out, it's fine.
Okay.
3 whole chickens? Alright, you want to see what happens when the kids get out in the garage and they leave the door open? This is what happens.
This is why it's important to make sure your freezer shuts all the way. You grab one of those.
And I will defrost this. Did you just fart?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I got it on tape. That was awesome. Yeah, the door squeaks. She doesn't fart. Oh, she did it again. Maybe she does. Again. And again. I can do this all night. What?
Oh, those chickens are cold. I think they should sit up.
Yeah, they probably sit up. Chicken. 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 All right.
Pull out meat. And we were going to prep pumpkin spice and creamer and ranch dressing mix and taco seasoning. Nope.
Nope. Because it is
time for bed.
that o'clock. All right. Yeah, actually, was it?
I think they should come in.
They should go in. It's not even warm enough. Yeah. Okay, we will see you tomorrow.
We are getting started this morning a little bit late. Grayson jumped ahead of us and started making the taquitos before we came out, which is awesome, kind of. So we have our defrosted tortillas. Grayson is browning 2 pounds of ground breakfast sausage and cooking up scrambled eggs. Then which he's going to... Grayson, why don't you tell us what you're going to do?
After I'm done cooking the sausage and eggs, I put them into this bowl, mix it up with some salsa and cheese. I need to breathe. Oh, I forgot about that. And then I heat up my tortillas and roll them up on a cookie sheet.
How do you heat up the tortillas?
With a bigger one of these pans.
Yeah. In a little bit of oil?
Yes, a little bit of oil.
And then salt?
The reason you do the oil is it helps them become more pliable and helps the salt stick to it.
Yes.
And it gives it that crispy.
Alright, so while he's working on that, I am going to mix up some of the pumpkin pie spice that I had hoped to do yesterday. And then we're going to make some pumpkin creamer to put in my tea. The creamer is something that is suggested a lot with coffee, so if you're a coffee drinker, I'm sure it'd be delicious in it. What we're gonna do here is we've got some cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, allspice, and cloves. I'm gonna do a double batch, so I'm gonna go with 6 tablespoons. When I'm making spice mixes, I'm not really going for perfection. 6. Okay, so we are working on eventually coming up with a better system for our herbs and spices, because right now it's one of those things that's kind of a pain point. Nobody really likes refilling the jars. Nobody likes going down into the food supply room to find the herbs and spices. So that's coming along. We're going to start with our spice cabinet and then work our way down. But for now, what we do is we just seal this using our food saver in order to kind of keep it contained. Sometimes some people leave them sitting out on the counter for days on end and then they get spilled all over the place. But I'm not going to do it right now because my food saver is inaccessible. So then we're going to do, it's going to be 4 teaspoons. So I'm going to call it just a very heaping tablespoon of, it is nutmeg. It looks not dark enough.
Well, it's also from golden.
Yes, I know. Same thing with the ginger. We're going for 4 teaspoons. So we're going to do like a heaping tablespoon. And then we want 3 teaspoons of allspice, which is 1 tablespoon. And then same thing with the ground cloves. And these are cloves that we buy whole and grind up ourselves. Harbor does.
Smells so good.
So that's the way to do it. If you can take a recipe for ingredients and do it all in one type of spoon. I brought out a teaspoon, but I didn't need it. Then we're gonna just shake this up and make some pumpkin creamer. We did have some on hand, but I just wanted to show you how to make it. So I'm going to combine these together. Sneak peek at our messy spice cabinet that we're going to be organizing and sharing hopefully in the near future. Oh, Myrtle wants to go outside. Okay, now it's time for the creamer. We have pumpkin pie, or not pumpkin pie, pumpkin puree. You can get out of the can. You can, this one we get from Azure and we get it in the case. which is the best pricing that I've been able to find. And then we're gonna pull some cream off of our raw milk. We've got syrup, we have vanilla, and our pumpkin pie spice. So let's start with a pot. All right, so we're gonna start with a cup of pumpkin creamer.
Puree.
No, I'm sorry. We're gonna start with a cup of pumpkin puree. And then I'm gonna take this leftover and probably put it in a jar. Alright, so with this extra pumpkin puree, I am going to put it into a mason jar. If we just put the pumpkin puree in the can in the refrigerator and cover it, it'll have a tendency to mold in like a day or two. It's super fast with how quickly it gets moldy. But this way, it'll last longer.
Just too many for
Yeah?
that. These are not that great.
The tortillas? Yeah, I was concerned about that.
However you want these for your stuff. Are they hard?
All right, next we've got 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice.
Did you do the vanilla?
I do the pumpkin pie spice first
Mix it up.
because I can't do the vanilla and then dip
Got it.
the spoon into the pumpkin pie spice. Order of operations.
Pro kitchen tip. Dry ingredients first.
And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
If it's a little extra, that's okay.
That was a lot of extra.
That's how I measure vanilla.
Yeah, close enough.
All right, then we're going to throw this on the stove top. Mix it up.
Zipana. Family 11 cooking out a 4-top. Yep.
So we're gonna cook that down until it boils for a little while, gently. Don't wanna scorch it, but I'm gonna put away my ingredients
Pro tip number 2.
in my
Disheveled.
messy, disheveled spice cabinet. Then I'm gonna grab the food saver again.
Now, if you sit here long enough, this will just go right in.
I'm not totally certain that it's done.
What exactly happens when
It's done.
Now,
So this,
ever? It is right?
we're good.
What'd you say, Grayson?
Always write the date and what you have in a container when you put something in a mason jar.
Grayson got the taquitos in the oven while I was out of the room. Snuck them in. Whoa. I'm gonna bake them at 450 degrees until crispy. While they're baking, he's got an animal that he's taking care of. This is copper poop color,
No, it's a copper Newton.
brownie, whatever. So that's copper.
Sir, I said copper Newton poop color.
Yeah, that one. Pro tip number 4.
Let's go. So
Clean your containers.
Put that on.
Pro tip number 5. Use a spoon ladle.
Yeah.
Spoon ladle. And then date it. Okay, I'm going. Whoa is right. Whoa.
Pro tip number 6. Keep your eye on your pot. I
5.
said 5 with the spoon ladle.
Oh. Okay. Yep.
Great.
All right, so our creamer is done. Kevin cleaned up our mess, and Harbor was kind enough to make me a second cup of tea.
Oh, that is very warm.
You want a hot mitt?
And then if you hold it up top.
We have these jumbo cups from.
I think that mine is too full. I'm gonna pour into yours first.
Fiesta ware that holds, technically, I believe it's like 16 ounces. So it's 2 cups of tea, technically.
Where's my water? That's a little. Hot.
So good. So good.
20 minutes later, some of them are a little burnt.
Crispy.
Nobody
Alright,
take my
Taquitos
spot.
are done. The brood is coming. And Mom is mowing down. Nice. Good job, bud.
Thank you. They might be doing the.
You let the kids watch that.
The U.S. Labor Department has proposed a rule that would classify gig workers as employees. Workers don't get overtime pay, insurance, Social Security, or other benefits.
Oh boy, here it is.
I'm actually staying on track.
So, Harbor is reading the week by week pregnancy book for me. Because I've read it before a few times and she wanted to read it. She's interested in the idea of becoming a midwife. So, she's having a lot of fun with this whole pregnancy thing. Yep.
So this is the beginning of the second trimester, both in the book and for her. Oh boy. Oh dear. Looks like cleanup is in order.
Asher, did you have this all on the floor?
Okay. Breakfast is over, and we're doing dishes now. Ooh, look, some more taquitos.
I'll have one.
Careful, it's so hot.
Yep, that's really warm.
I'm gonna start making spelt rolls, and to do that, I'm gonna start grinding my spelt in my Nutrimill, our Nutrimill. About 1.5 cups, and then I'm gonna add the rest of this because someone emptied or put a Mylar bag in here without having the jar completely empty. Whoa!
Yep. That's exactly awesome. Well,
Maybe.
she made a big mess.
So it's just over 2
Okay,
cups.
just over 2 cups. You told me. All right, good job. All right, she's gonna flip that
half
on.
a cup.
Half a cup. Gonna flip that on and grind some grain.
I have to make 5 different things.
I'm trying to right, left-handed.
Yep, there's the cleanup. So we got the big old handy dandy mixer up.
KitchenAid. It's always out.
That sounds solid. You're gonna put the swirly swirl on there and
Dough hook.
put the thing in. KitchenAid. How much hot water and how hot?
How hot? Hot.
Hot.
Like as hot as our thing.
What's the
will
hot water for?
be. Hot water is for the dough.
Okay, so you put the hot water in the pot.
I put the hot water in
Bowl.
here.
Okay?
Okay. I'm gonna do 1/3 cup of oil. So I just use the scoop that I have after pouring the oil, and I just pour the honey right into it, and it comes out without me leaving anything in it.
Third cup. Little more than 1/3 of a cup.
It's supposed to be a little bit more than 1/3 cup.
Just throw that right in there. Nice.
All right, I'm gonna add an egg.
Adding 1 egg. Check. Okay.
You like stopped me.
Yeah, I know.
Open the egg.
And then you mix.
No salt.
Then you add salt. Oh, it's a disaster. Goodness. There
No,
it is.
I'm actually pulling out all the ingredients that Asher put away that he was not supposed to put away.
Oh, okay. How much salt?
About 2 teaspoons. I never measure salt.
cool.
I love it when it does that.
And mix.
Bring my bowl
Make sure you
up.
thing. Whip it. Whip it good.
Going to grab ingredients for my dough. More ingredients is what I should have said. Sunflower, lecithin, and vital wheat gluten.
That's all mixed well. How long did you mix that for?
It doesn't matter just until it's mixed. Probably like a minute or two.
All right, let's go. How much of this sunflower, not lecithin? Lecithin.
Lecithin. 2 tablespoons, but all the tablespoon measuring spoons are in the dishwasher, so I'm using a half a tablespoon times 4.
Cool.
When I'm kneading the dough, I will find little greenish black seeds in it. Again, all the whole teaspoons are out, so I'm using a half a teaspoon times 2. I'm gonna have 2 cups because I need 4 to 4.5. 2 cups of flour, and I'm gonna let this mix till it is fully incorporated. I will sometimes just use a whisk to make it to speed it up and make sure that it's getting mixed in the right way thoroughly. But sometimes I just let it mix it itself. My dough is already fully incorporated, the flour and lecithin and vital wheat gluten. So now I'm gonna add a tablespoon of yeast.
How much more flour?
2 cups to 2.5 cups. I will add the half cup as needed.
Is that a bread making joke?
I'm gonna let this mix, and if I need to add more flour, I will do that. This is gonna be a very sticky dough. That's the way you get the best rolls.
Cool.
This dough will not pull away from the edges when you're making the spelt rolls, and that's the best way that we have found. When I'm ready, I will knead this by hand for a little bit after it has that little ball on top. Remember those little seeds in the lecithin I was talking about? Well, there is one right here.
Just like any master artist, it takes time and dedication continuing the molding and shaping.
I'm going to oil my bowl. Just put a little bit of oil in at the bottom. Roll it around a little bit. Hands. Now this dough is a bit sloppy. For the spelt rolls, you want it to be sloppy, but it still stretches pretty nice and stays together, which this is the consistency that I look for. And then I'll just roll this around and flip it. And then flip it one more time so I get that smooth top. So after I've put this in here, I'm going to put it in the sink with warm water after I cover it with saran wrap and let that rise for about an hour to an hour and a half. The reason I'm using saran wrap, I don't like using it, I want to get some other stuff, because the towels that we've got are all dirty right now. So I'm just going to lightly drape that over so that it still has a little bit of air, but not enough for bugs to get through. Gonna check on our dough. Look at that. It used to be to there, it's almost doubled. I'm gonna roll these out and get ready to bake them. Nice that is. Stick in. I love it when my dough activates and the yeast activates. Just look at those bubbles. And you'd never know that there's one right here. It goes all the way in and I just popped it. Whoa. Now listen, here, listen.
Next up is going to be the cheeseburger soup, and it is exactly what you think it is. Cheeseburger made into a soup. It's going to include all the same ingredients plus a few extras, a little bit more variety and some vegetables, no ketchup. But we're going to brown some meat in a big Dutch oven and put in our broth, potatoes, carrots, and make it delicious. One of the other vegetables that we get in here is carrots, and we shred them and then give them a little brown. So these are the potatoes from Azure, and the wonderful thing about these is how good they still are a couple weeks after we've gotten them, which just goes to show that Azure's standard of care with their produce and everything is good. So next step is to remove the meat from the heat. It says in the recipe to take and drain the extra fat that comes off of any of the meat. But since Mama's not looking, we're gonna leave the fat because it's yummy. Pro tip:
Sorry, hold on.
when taking hot meat off of a burner, you're putting into a bowl, use a hot pad. It keeps your hands from getting warm, like burning, like my fingers are right now. Whew.
Oh man, Dad. The camera is focusing on your Inigo Montoya,
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya.
thinking it's a face.
You killed my father. Prepare to die. Alright, what's next?
I'm gonna
Onions?
set this down. Yeah, I want you to start chopping onions. I'm gonna do that.
Chopping onions.
Remember that lard we rendered? I'm gonna use this to saute our onions and carrots.
I don't know what
We're
we're
gonna add our
doing.
carrots.
1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4, 5, 6. There's about 17 cups of onions in there. Nope. Lunch, you want water now?
Parsley flakes,
Okay.
4 teaspoons.
Cool.
Those saute until they're tender.
Alright, now that we got all the veggies in there, what's next?
We're gonna add, the recipe says 12 cups of broth,
Okay.
but I think that we're gonna add a little bit less or a little bit more, depending on. So I'm gonna grab 2 containers.
Dad grabbed them.
Well, I'm gonna add the meat first.
Okay, add the meat. The potatoes?
Perfect.
Of course it's perfect, I get it.
We probably should have done a little bit more, but. Sorry.
Gluggity gluggity glug.
So you add the salt and pepper after you add like the cheese and sour cream and stuff.
Okay. When you're a large family, you need a large pot. Or unless you want leftovers, big pot.
I've got the meat and potatoes and broth in, and this looks really good.
Alright, while we're waiting for the cheeseburger soup to get done, we're going to work on the kombucha.
I need to use
So-
fabric.
I totally dropped the ball. It is now October 17. I think the last time we did this was in July.
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. So literally like 3 months later, which is not acceptable by any standard. You can clearly see a lot of this is evaporated because this was full at one point in time. I'm hoping that we're able to get
Just want to know if you
a
can help me.
real live SCOBY out of this. Not sure. We'll just make another batch and see how it goes. So we're gonna pop all the tops off, strain it, pull out the SCOBYs, all that stuff, and do it.
Try a little bit more, please. Just like apple cider vinegar.
Will be like vinegar.
Can you?
Da, 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 da. Roll,
You can see how much these have risen.
4 out. Double fisting it. Look at you. And how long do these suckers bake for?
10-20 minutes.
20 minutes later, Dad's still working on kombucha. But we're working on the roux,
Is that
thicken
bubbling?
that up, She's grating cheese.
I'm actually gonna start working on the roux, and I'm gonna pause on the cheese.
And all that gets mixed in there to finish that to make it amazing. Choo-choo, the Breslin train. Cool. Mom ordered some groceries and we got them delivered and Breslin brought them in. Thank you, sweetie. Kids are outside playing musical chairs. Let's go take a look.
Alright, I can't watch. I see. You get to pick, we get to sit. Now
Works
look
really well.
at
You're probably just gonna have to do a little bit of research and figure it out.
deliciousness.
We got the Army. Isn't it cute? Look at that little bowl. Rolls are done. Yes. Rolls are done. Oh, yes. I'm ready.
Can we add more milk?
Nope. Your
Really?
mom will.
She wants it thick.
She likes. Yeah, she loves everything nice and thick.
Hasher?
Cool. All right, Harbor. The soup
It's delicious.
is too thick. You need to fix it.
Need some salt too.
Really?
No, it's delicious. It is a little thick, but you know what? It's perfect.
Yeah, it's never been this thick.
Harbor. You get the thumb of sorry.
But yes.
The thumb of approval from Dad. It's trying to focus on everything but you. Right there. Focus right there. Focus.
Thank you.
Focus. Zayden. Use your hands. The day thus far, we did kombucha, we made lunch, and breakfast.
I got a lot of video stuff done. So,
Good job.
we launched rockets! What? You did?
No, like we launch rockets after lunch and lunch first.
Do you feel like launching rockets today?
Probably not.
I'm gonna go take a nap after lunch. And we're gonna watch some history lessons. Oh, there we go.
Potential spam.
And then these guys.
Why did the Huguenot?
Okay, lunch was scrumdiddlyumptious, and as you look behind me, you can see a bit of a mess.
Disaster.
So this lady and this guy are gonna tag team this because Christy just laid it down to go take a nap. Here we go.
The boys are too obnoxious.
And the boys are just outside being crazy. And there's a cat over there who wants to come in.
Dude. Mr. Buddy Boy.
So, the first thing we're going to do is start working on cleanup. And then we're going to put potatoes in the oven for twice baked potatoes for dinner, plus the pork chops, a salad, and a pie. Okay, while I was editing this video, I realized that we never gave you the opportunity to enter for the giveaway for this month's Azure Haul. The giveaway is going to be the Immune Boosting Pack, which includes the honey, the fire cider, the book, and all of the wonderful things that go along with that. So, in order to earn your entry, what you need to do is go down to the comments below and let us know one meal that you're making this week. Enter that in the comments, and that'll give you a chance to enter in the giveaway. Everybody, I'd like to introduce you to the new Mr. Mittens.
No, it's Papa.
Or also known as Papa. Put him down, listen. Alright, we got everything cleaned up. And boy, that was a chore. It took us almost an hour. But it's done. And pulled out the rib doodads, pork chops. They are slightly frozen still. So we're gonna let those kind of sit not in the sun, but out on the counter to rest. Working on prepping stuff for dinner. We got the potatoes in the oven. Working on salad. Harbor's gonna chop up apples for the messy apple pie. Okay, salad is about prepped. We're running a little low on some of the veggies. Probably throw in some tomatoes. Harbor is working on the apples.
Apple.
For the messy apple pie.
Apple pie.
Here. Oh yeah. So I don't think this one doesn't look right. Okay. One of the things I'm also going to do with Harbor's help is eat. Fail. Is eat more apples. I should make a salad dressing for dinner. Okay, normally we just start with 2 eggs and add a little bit of oil and start mixing that up until it starts to form the mayo. Because I already had a little bit of mayo in the fridge, I just started with that. So what I'm doing now is I added an egg yolk to keep that consistent base. Just adding oil until I build it up to enough mayo to make the salad dressing, which is just going to include the maple syrup and white wine vinegar, a little bit of Dijon, some seasonings, which we'll get to in a splash. I usually have a helper here. She ditched me. So, looks just like that. Nothing fancy. Oh, there she is. Come here for a second. Helper. Will you drizzle some oil in there for me? Sure. So I learned a trick a long time ago to change how you whisk when you're whisking by hand. You can whisk with your wrist and then your whole arm. And it kind of gives the shoulder a break and then the wrist a break as well. So you go back and forth. Okay, they call it Miracle Whip for a reason, right? Whoosh! Nice and thick. So now I'm gonna add, this is approximately, what would you call that? 2 cups? Work. All right, maple syrup in. Hold on. He farted. Okie dokie. I got my mayo. This is about 2 cups. 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar. Mix. Now that's going to take it and make it a little bit more liquidy. So after that, we add a thickener, which is going to be about another 1/4 cup of Dijon.
1/4 cup?
I'm doubling this, Harbor. This is all for a big salad dressing batch. And about a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. You sure it's good?
Can I borrow it?
It's delicious. A little more liquidy. Woo. Woo. Okay. And that's about what you want. It's delicious. No, you cannot taste that. Not yet. Now we're going to add a little bit of whatsoever sauce. About a tablespoon worth of whatsoever sauce. About a teaspoon of salt. Some fresh pepper. Okay, about a teaspoon of dried parsley. And then about a splash of paprika. Harvard's making molasses. Let's check it out.
Sugar.
That's molasses, people. Right there.
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar!
I knew you were gonna do
Alright, you want to stir?
Yeah.
Stir! Stir!
Where?
Right there. Stir it up. Oh.
I'm doing back and forth.
Cool, alright, that's it.
Why is that?
Check.
Not
Let's check out Harbor and the apple pie. Messy apple pie. What do you got?
I'm adding our homemade apple pie spice. I'm gonna add
Hold on,
about
sweetie.
3.
Yes, you can stir that.
I'm adding about 3 tablespoons.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm gonna add another 1/2 cup of sugar because my 1 cup measuring cup has apple junk in it, and I don't want my sugar to get stuck to my measuring cup. So
How much sugar you put in so far?
I've already put in 1/2 cup, so this is my other 1/2 cup, and that's 1 cup of sugar in this entire thing.
Mix well.
And I also added about 1 cup of flour. Don't want to forget to add your flour to your messy apple pie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, that's for the pork. Harbor's whisking together, or beating, or creaming the topping for the messy apple pie. Let's check on the daughter. Ooh, nice. Ooh. This is the cream crumble that goes on top.
It's delicious.
It is. It's not for the faint of heart. I'm just, yeah, you're just
Literally?
splatting it on. Alright, the mix for the pork chops. 2 or 3 garlic cloves minced. 2 tablespoons of Dijon. 2 teaspoons of honey. That's 1 teaspoon. 2 in. A little bit of that apple pie spice mix. 1 teaspoon of that as well. 1 teaspoon of pepper. Pepper. Half a teaspoon of some dried thyme fresh from the garden that Harbor dried. Half a teaspoon of salt. Mix this together well. It's going to resemble something that does not look very appealing. Actually, it smells really good. Now the fun part. 2 cups of apple cider. I need a 2 cups. And a splash. Alright, we're gonna mix this together and let it sit off to the side. Let all that kind of gather. Let's go check on our potatoes. Oh yes, they're looking ripe for picking. Twice baked potatoes in the making. Gutting them, putting them in here. Got about a stick of butter in there. I'm gonna do a pack of cream cheese and about half a cup of this and a little bit of that. Then we're gonna shake it. Another stuff in there. And then you start mixing. Now to help whip it together, Harbor's gonna dump a little bit of milk in there.
A little bit of milk.
Do
Wet
it.
hands.
Do it. A little bit more. That was about a quarter cup.
More or less. Just to give it a minute.
Let's give it a sec. Ding, 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 ding.
You added salt and pepper?
Nope, not yet.
Guess not.
Alright, we're gonna put about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of salt in there. Okay? That's like a heavy tablespoon. Garlic is about another tablespoon.
That's a heavy tablespoon.
Yeah, you know it. We're gonna go crickety crack. Alright, I'm gonna grate cheese. Well, that's mixing. About a cup of shredded pepper jack. Oh, yes. The rest and remaining of the pepper jack is going to be a bait for children. That's about how much left of that. Just kidding. The rest of that's gonna go on top of the potatoes. Alright, sometimes I don't fill them proportionately the right way. So we have a couple loaded potato skins. And we're just gonna drizzle drazzle. And in the oven, I'm actually gonna put this on low broil. Oh, that's not high enough. Hold on. Okay. Clean up. Clean is done. Now we have the pans on. They are piping hot. Remember that lard that Harbor was using the other day? We're gonna go hot and come on. Blop. We're gonna let those melt down for a second. The recipe doesn't call to salt and pepper these. I normally do, but I'm gonna follow the recipe according. So it says brown them. It doesn't say what kind of pan, so what I'm gonna do is 1 of each. Because I love meat on cast iron skillets. Meat away, always. While that's cooking, we're gonna clean and finish our salad. Let's put some pork chops. Alright, the recipe says something about adding the mix back into this that we used. Alright, sauce in.
What did you phone?
If I'm being totally honest, it was only supposed to brown for a little bit and then the sauce goes in. But yeah.
Can we get the pot going while we're eating?
Feta on the salad. This is the Azure feta that we get. Oh, it's amazing. And we're on the tail end, so I'm literally scraping the bottom of the bowl, or the bucket here.
Tab.
Odyssey feta. Ready. Dun-dun-dun. Look at that sun. Oh, wait.
I'm blinded.
Apple pie in. How long is that going to bake for?
About 40 to 50 minutes.
About 4 hours. No.
No.
Let's see what's blinding us. perfect day of fall. She's back.
Does anyone want to guess how many we need?
12.
No.
She is prepping the pot for canning apple butter.
I do 8.
So that's a pretty handy trick there of putting the jars in and then filling it up. If that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
See, that's why she married me. Because all those smart little tips and tricks come out after years and years of marriage. I added this thickening agent, also known as arrowroot. Haha. Whoa! It'll makes it look nice.
For a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you using this?
If you ever have a recipe that calls for cornstarch and you want to stay away from corn products because of the GMO issues that often come with corn, arrowroot is a perfect substitute.
Yeah.
As Kevin is dishing out the pork chops, I want to let you know that we have all of the recipes in this video as well as the next video coming up with how we used our Azure Haul that are available for purchase on the link that I'm going to include in the description below. So be sure to go check those out. The really cool part about it is that it includes everything from the spice mixes to the homemade parts of a recipe and all of that. Do you have something to say?
Hello. My name is Ningo Matoya. No, I got nothing to say. Enjoy.
Hot.
Alright, get everything on here. Tossing salad.
That's mine. And we have jars going so that we can get this apple butter canned up so that we can use the crock pot tomorrow.
No?
Grayson.
Can I have some of that salad?
Mom, would you like some ginger beer or
I'm nuking him.
This is a nice plate.
Yep. Fermented bucha. Is it 3 months old?
It's 90 days old.
Yeah, that's
Can I get some kombucha?
95
gonna
days
be
old.
right.
It's also sour. It tastes like
Wait! No, I got kombucha over there! Oh.
apple cider vinegar.
Crispy ice cream, what day is it? Tomorrow or
Wednesday.
when?
After lunch.
I'm gonna get 2 scoops.
Alright, what's the report of the pork? Let's check in. Skip.
Good.
You didn't eat any pork. Grayson, what'd you think?
I think it was good. It was good.
Mimi, good job. Papa?
Delicious.
Harbor. I'm not sure what that sign language means. I didn't take sign
Food in
language.
her mouth.
You have food in your mouth. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
And
2 thumbs up. All right. Grayson, did you like the chicken? Okay.
I don't love it.
Elias, you don't love it?
Good chicken?
Lynn and Elias,
Wait a minute.
what'd you think?
You
It
don't love
wasn't
it?
chicken.
I did.
Lynn liked it? Elias, what'd you think?
Because I
He
know
doesn't
it's
even
pork.
eat your pork.
Woman?
So, I think we let the sauce, when you threw the pork on and we just let the sauce keep cooking, I think it cooked down a little bit too much.
Yep.
So now we got that like snot texture.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a whole lot
I have a good one, baby.
It tastes
Stop.
delicious. It tastes delicious, but it cooked a little bit too long.
No, not
The pork,
No.
I could be wrong, but the pork tastes different to me
Very
from the
good.
last pork.
Okay.
If someone leans on
Here's
the
the
bench,
messy
everybody who was on the bench
apple
have
pie.
to stand. Dad, I don't like it.
Oh man. And you know what? I know you can smell it through the camera.
And the time before that. And the time before that.
Can I have some ice cream?
And what's the report?
It's amazing.
What do you think of the size of the apples?
So, I think they're good. This is one recipe that we've talked about experimenting with to try and cut
Make it a little.
back on the sugar.
2 is
But everybody loves it so much.
3.
Yeah, you could cut back on the sugar.
It's hard to.
Like, she put a full cup of sugar inside the apples,
No,
and
I
then
almost did only half a cup.
yeah, you could have definitely gotten away with half
do
a
you
cup.
mean?
Give it a
I
go. Let
didn't
me know
want
what you
to
think.
experiment this
Yes.
time.
Yeah,
just
that's
followed
fine.
the
That's
recipe.
fine.
It's delicious.
Leonard, I like your happy Halloween sign.
And I know it's not a pie. It, like that's why it's not really.
I didn't know it.
I don't
How is
know. It's not
Delicious.
a crumble or a crisp officially. So that's why it's messy apple pie.
Thumbs up.
I think it's good.
Cool. All right, this lady over here has been canning away while I've been chatting away and not doing any sort of filming. So we're canning apple butter now, right?
Yep. We're doing apple butter. And we're gonna make some ranch dressing. We're gonna make some dry ranch powder or dry ranch mix because we're out.
Okay.
Now, Mom.
So we have hard water, so I pour my vinegar in this little tiny bowl and then I dump it in there so that
It softens the water.
it helps. It does, but what it does is it helps prevent mineral buildup on the
Outside of the jar.
yeah.
I only sealed 2. I only saw 2. I added 1 egg yolk to this, along with about a little less than a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, and then a little bit of salt. And now I'm adding my oil.
Stir. Breathe. Oil. Stir.
All right, we're gonna make our dry ranch dressing mix so that we can then make some ranch dressing so that we can make our chicken ranch tacos tomorrow.
Sweet.
So we are going to start with the parsley. We're gonna go with 4 tablespoons. 4. Love these lids from Azure
I'm not doubling this.
are connected. They're wonderful.
The monolithic unit.
The monolithic unit. Unit.
Eunuch.
We're gonna go 2 teaspoons of dill. So I'm actually going to use a teaspoon for this. I'm sorry, I lied. And you know what? Nope, it's 2. And then we're going to do 4 teaspoons of garlic powder. So I'm going to do a heaping one of those. Really like the monolithic unit for the garlic powder because the garlic powder gets like sticky.
You said eunuch again.
Your timer, I just turned it off.
Well, it's just to check if it's boiling or not. So again, 4 teaspoons of onion powder. We're gonna do 4 teaspoons of onion flakes. 2 teaspoons of black pepper. Okay, so
Dash the spider.
while we're waiting on the peppercorns, I'm gonna move on to the chives. I'm gonna go with 4 teaspoons of chives. You know what? As soon as I'm done adding stuff to this jar, I have the perfect job for you.
Shaking.
Yes. You want to be my shaker?
Stop.
Present
Awesome.
say. Present.
Sorry.
2 teaspoons of salt.
What, Dad? Dad, what?
Say. Shake, 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 Sinora.
No.
No.
Hold on. I just got shot down by a 4-year-old.
Okay, yes.
Alright, do it.
Shake, shake, shake. I don't know.
Say Sinora.
Shake, 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 shake. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now we've got 1 cup of buttermilk powder. Normally you don't can apple butter for 25 minutes, but with our altitude, we have to go 15 minutes more than normal.
Because we're at like 9,000 feet here.
No, we're not.
7.
9.
Actually, just under 7.
Meet you at 8 is just over 7, thank you very much. Don't be jipping us.
Down there it isn't.
671.
Down where?
Down in the adventure field.
Down by the railroad?
Breslin,
You should have brought it up so we could
do you
fill
want to
up
be my
a
shaker?
quart jar of pine
Then you need to get in the
corn-
helper
or
station.
Pine corns.
Oh, then go pee. I'll
What
wait
did
for you.
Hannah say?
Yeah, that doesn't. No, don't tell him.
Now see, Mom, can you wake up to me?
Pine
Now
corns?
see? Mom, can you wake up to
What
me?
is it?
Shoot, what's it called? Oh my goodness.
Mom, can you
Pine corns. Hold on. Peppercorns. Wow. I don't know.
Now
I
on, these
don't-
peppercorns
I don't
are
know.
known as pine corns.
No.
I'm so sorry.
All right, while we're waiting for her.
Done.
Somebody got a pepper.
Oh, Mom.
Somebody got a pepper shaker for their birthday.
Did. Take a quick look. What do we do when we put something in a jar?
You shake it. Shake it.
We label it. All right, ranch dressing. We're gonna start with a cup of mayo.
Don't lie on me.
All recipes that we share might be a little large, and if it's too much food for your family, cut it in half or a quarter.
Or
Nancy's sour cream from Azure. It's the best place to buy it in the case. You gotta get it in the case. It lasts a ways past the expiration date.
Like 2 months. That looks like it got a little cold.
It does look like it froze. But don't stir it. That's actually something that's really important. If you stir it, it totally,
Changes its texture.
yes, it makes it like,
Milk. Yogurt.
yeah, like yogurt.
Like a really liquidy yogurt.
Okay, so my recipe calls for a cup and a half of milk. I'm going to start with just under a cup so that I have control over the consistency of the dressing. Want to make sure that it's not too
Am I allowed to have a
runny.
drink of milk? Am I allowed to have some milk?
And I would rather go to thick and then add some milk later on. So then we're gonna do 6 tablespoons of our dressing mix.
No.
Do you know what
Yes.
involvement is?
No.
All right, so we're gonna start
Spicy cabinet.
with this guy.
And
You
Mom's
can.
gonna stir.
You ready for it to be over?
What happened?
It's good to let this sit in the refrigerator overnight before you use it.
Check out what I just did. Yeah, you know. If you know, you know. Soaking beans for tomorrow. We have a couple random pinto beans. I'm not sure what they're doing in there. This must have been the beans that Christy did. Because I know that my black beans never had any pinto beans. So that's what, like 2 cups worth approximately?
I like this.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Why are you doing that?
About 2 cups. Lid on. Important. Make sure you put it on there extra tight so the next person can't open it. And then a really crucial part is to actually soak it.
Okay, since we're making black beans tomorrow, I'm trying to get in the habit of whenever we make a certain type of bean, we also do extra so that we can pressure can it and have the stock bean built. So we are also going to remove the lid. And we're gonna do, it's gonna be probably a little bit more than 5 pounds of beans, which when you look at recipes for pressure canning black beans, they tell you that 5 pounds of beans is going to fit into
7 quarts?
7 quarts. But what I have found is that when you soak them and then we soak them, we rinse them, and then we cook them for about 30 minutes before putting them in the jars.
What is the white? Oh, I forgot that oxygen absorbers go in beans. I thought it was just wheat for some reason. I need you to come get me.
It does more like 10
I need the camera.
quarts, which is okay because we have one of the big pressure canners that you can do 2
One
layers
row?
of 7 quarts. So we can do 14 quarts in the can. Now, the last batch of beans that we did, Kevin put these in the Instant Pot, and I don't think that they got enough water. But I think we'll be able to give them enough liquid in this one.
It's a lot fuller than I thought it was.
That's like
Can I?
No.
this.
Spill? Why are there so many Pintos in there?
Aha! Nope.
Careful, hands away. I want to see Dad not spill this.
I was like, man, did this guy get an oxygen score?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
I did too.
But look at it. The
Yeah,
scale
yeah.
Look at how beautiful that is.
And if you are not packing the food you use in a Mylar bag for the size container you use inside your working pantry, y'all is crazy.
While they finish up in here, I'm going to go
to bed.
finish up on my computer and make sure we did everything we're supposed to. And make sure the plan is in place for tomorrow. And transfer video files.
I'm making pumpkin spice cookies. I have 1 stick or half a cup of butter that I'm going to add in, softened butter, that I'm going to add into my stand mixer. I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. Now technically I could start mixing this now, but I'm going to add the molasses and my egg to it.
What?
Gonna put my molasses. I need about a quarter cup of molasses in here. Molasses. A quarter cup
Right here.
of molasses is now in the bowl.
Alright, that's for Elias.
Kind of did a little design-ish. And now I need a third a cup of pumpkin. I'm gonna cream this, which looks super pretty.
I'm fine, kid. Mom, I'm fine.
Gonna add half a teaspoon of salt, and then 1 tablespoon of our homemade pumpkin pie spice. And mix this.
That's you.
Okay. Are you ready?
Hold on.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
It's 2 out of 3. It's 2 out of 3. We're playing rock, paper, scissors, see who gets to lay with mom. Alright, come on, we'll do it again. Alright, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors.
That was so paper! Paper covers rock. Next
Paper covers rock.
Next person who wins, wins. And gets to sleep next to mom. Ready? Oh boy. Okay, you ready? Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, ready? Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, one more. You ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Reigning champ. Okay. Oh, again, one more. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You win. Okay. Okay. Hey, gentle.
Bang this down.
Alright, go lay down.
I bang this
Oh, I'm gonna
down
take your spot.
so that was a little more than I normally do. So that no flour, barely any flour is in here.
Ooh.
And I don't make that much of a mess. Okay, the recipe calls for 2 1/3 cup of flour. It's probably more like 3 cups of flour, which I actually do need to measure. I'm not gonna forget to measure because Mom gets mad at me whenever I don't measure. My flour is in, and I'm gonna mix this. Okay, I'm gonna transfer my cookie dough into a glass bowl to refrigerate overnight, Dad. I'm gonna just... I have found... works.
Nice.
Let's try that again. It's sealed.
Okay, after editing this, I realized that this video was going to be incredibly long. So we're breaking this up into multiple videos in order to make it a little bit more consumable for you. So this is the ending of this video, which is the first day of the cooking that we did. The next video will be day 2, which is going to include the remaining recipes, the things like the pumpkin waffles, the chicken ranch tacos, and the enchiladas. So stick around for the next one, which is coming right up.